forget about assessment. This assessment is actually negligible. I mean, you cannot assess online.
In our previous video in this series, we discussed how the pandemic has affected teaching. However, an integral part of the teaching practice is assessment and evaluation. We move on to ask our professors about how they have managed to conduct effective assessments of students online.
I mean, unless only you two are in my class, I can make a phone call to you and then interview you. So that probably is the only assessment which is kind of justified and is genuine, one-to-one interview. Other than this, whatever we will do, it's only a hack. I mean, there is no genuine assessment possible online.
We have been looking at various tools for online delivery, and nobody so far has figured out an online way of taking exams. If those exams are not multiple choice, right? And everything cannot be multiple choice. In fact, one of our aims in your BTech or your masters is to make you unlearn whatever damage this multiple choice thing has done to your minds. And now we are being forced to do multiple choice exams. So next year I'm going to teach the advanced maths course, next semester, sorry. And I am preparing multiple choice exams. I'm setting up multiple choice exams. And I'm finding it extremely unsatisfying. It is absolutely not suitable for the kind of courses that we teach and the kind of learning we expect you to experience.
Over online mode, it becomes very difficult to gauge, what they're doing. I encourage in-class interactions. I give generally in-class activities, especially for the PG course, even sometimes for UG course. I give routine assignments. But right now, I don't know if I give assignment, where the things are coming from. And if I want 2 to 3 people to interact. So generally what I used to do, I used to have one good person who's doing very good, another one which is not doing so good. So, and then make a team of them. And each lecture will be separate. It can be a random group now and random group maybe next time when I take a class. So at least by that they used to talk to one another and learn from what the pluses, minuses are. And then I could really judge them, bring them on par. At least the thinking process, I see that it changes with time. But right now if I have to make a group, I don't know how to make a group. I don't know, because I am not so good at telling it online. If I want to make a group, how do I make a group? I don't know. I can only tell them make a Zoom, have a Zoom call or what, but I cannot check on it. And even when the class activities are going on, I used to take a round, because I know there are 3 groups of 3 or 2 members. I used to go to them and give a feedback right there. This is correct, this is not correct, you can get into this direction. And typically I'll have some activities. So at least 8 to 10 activities, I'll have 5 to 10 minute activity. And that it helped me a lot in terms of judging a person. And that I think aspect is completely missing. Mid-sem, end-sem, now I don't know what to do, because I'll have to rely completely on, say, Viva. Yes. That is the only thing, and that is not a good way, because one person may be good at writing but not even communicating. So I'm fine with any mode of assessment, but I would like the best thing to come out from a student, and that part I'm at a loss how to really judge it. Though
actually, Institute has debated, has discussed a lot, and there are various options available. You can have online quizzes, home assignments, term paper, even open book exam also you can take it. So online exams are very popular. It is not an impossible task to do. Only thing is that we have to be used to it. We have to, but yeah, there are ways, and we are going to implement this in the coming semester. So Institute has debated, discussed a lot about it, and now we have, we are going to implement it. You will see soon.
I am relying more on assignments. I'll again give them activity, I mean some sort of assignment, but it will be individualized now. So I don't know if I want to see a person grow. How will I do that? I'm still struggling to figure it out.
So again, in this case, my advanced courses are a bit better. I'm in a better situation because even in-person classes, in advanced courses, I would just get take-home exams. So my take-home exams do not depend on pandemic. So they will be able to assess as they were assessing before. But obviously, you cannot do it for our BTech courses. I mean, if you have 100 students, or even if you have 50 students, how can you manage take-home exam? Because I mean, first of all, the problem is of cheating, and second is that I guess designing questions that are at a high level, and which the student spends 2-3 days, and then we can genuinely grade it and then classify 50 students into ABCD grades. I think that is a hard problem. For a small class with advanced topics, it's possible. But for a large class with basic topics, I mean, it would be hard for me to actually design a take-home exam.
The pandemic has completely changed the way teaching happens across the world. But are these practices to stay even after the pandemic ends? We ask few of our professors about the changes in teaching that they expect to see in the long term.
People will definitely prefer high quality online courses compared to in-class, on-campus, poor quality programs. So that's definitely going to happen. Even within IIT, I think there will be a lot more this thing like, can I say do flipped classroom? Can I say go and look at that video and I'm only going to do a tutorial kind of stuff, right?
So I think because of this pandemic, any kind of resistance to digitalization and online teaching, any kind of resistance will go away. People will just forget that there was a time when many faculty or many students would oppose online teaching. So I think this flipped classroom mode might become a new normal, like forever, even when the pandemic goes away.
Now NPTEL has a very large repository of courses, very varied repository of courses, but it has taken close to I think 15-20 years to build that repository. So when we are now being forced to move to online teaching, all of us are building content. So I am building our content, and I am trying to, many of us are trying to do as good a job as we can, so that at the end of the semester, in 6 months, we will have achieved quite a big fraction of what NPTEL has achieved over a very long time, after having spent a huge amount of money, right? So we will have a big repository. If even the next semester runs on online, we will probably have a repository of all 4-year courses. If we run 2 semesters, we'll have most 4-year courses archived online. When you guys come back, I won't go to class anymore. I'll just play the videos that I have. So that's a nice dream that we all have. But
as a country, we must improve the infrastructure for doing so. I'm sure future technologies will be directed towards more such innovation on the same line. People will be more used to it. I do hope COVID-19 goes away very fast. However, we have learned a lot out of this pandemic situation. In future, one will see more use of these online platforms. I could see a bright future for a rapid and more innovative technological development on the same line.
I mean, there is all the reason that the students will increase the classes will only become bigger. So for bigger and bigger classes, I think flipped classroom mode will make sense.
These things allow flexibility to the student. They can learn at the time of their choice. You don't have to wake up for 8 o'clock class or 9 o'clock class. And it gives us a lot more flexibility in terms of scheduling, in terms of what courses you can take, in terms of infrastructure requirement. I don't need very large halls, all those things.
One can teach to a larger audience at the same time, irrespective of the student's location, class size, timetable. However, at the same time, students also can stay freely at home and focus only on their studies.
So blackboard and the white chalk is really the way to teach, right? If you take a poll in IIT Kanpur today among the faculty, even today after 5 months of COVID, you will find at least a majority saying blackboard and white chalk is the in thing, right? So I think COVID is going to change many of those things because people will slowly realize that, hey, I didn't like teaching, but students learned it anyway. And I think a lot of faculty members will start realizing that they are not important. They are not even needed in a classroom. In fact, I think what we will really learn is that most students at your age can learn without any faculty. You don't need 4-year degrees, right? There are enough online materials. You can just listen to them, give whatever exams which are online and be done with it. It's going to be hurting a lot of egos, but that's the way it is. We see many differences coming into IIT Kanpur. Frankly, it is possible that other IITs may change because of COVID. I don't see IIT Kanpur changing because of COVID. I think it's become one of the most rigid IITs, rigid institutions in the country. I mean, I've been there for 25 years, so I know what I'm talking about.
Most professors also acknowledge the various benefits of a flipped classroom model. They predict a greater reliance on flipped classroom models even after the pandemic ends.